Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. Well, today's National Kindergarten Day. You know why? Because some dude founded kindergarten on today. So happy, you know what? I didn't go to kindergarten. I studied from home, I swear to goodness. I studied from home. I never went to kindergarten. And I kicked ass in the first grade too. All right, Supreme Court late Friday night in the middle of the night stopped the deportations that were going down in Texas to Venezuela. I want you all to know this, that Alito and Thomas had stinging dissents. I think in the end, the deportations will get started. But I want to fault the United States Supreme Court for something that they do over and over and over again. They will get an issue before them, and they focus on some narrow route instead of deciding the issue in a broad capacity so we don't have to mess around with it anymore. It is almost as if the United States Supreme Court participates in the legalese, lawyering, money machine that goes on in this country. So what happens is you've got scattered opinions in district courts, followed by circuit courts, back to the Supreme Court. For example, are you telling me that there isn't a case in front of the United States Supreme Court right now where the United States Supreme Court can lay it out A to Z on deportations? They could, and they should. Sean Hannity, I want to tell you something. Sean Hannity, on one hand, seems like a nice guy, and he's Trump's biggest booster on Fox News. But I want to tell you something that always bothered me about Sean Hannity. First off, he always does the company line, conservative line, blah, blah, blah. Nothing creative about it. Number two, he is owned. The stories that I got inside baseball from Willie, he is the biggest suck up to where he'll do anything Fox News tells him. You're never going to see him be a Tucker Carlson, ever. But here's the other thing is, if you see how the guy lives, have you ever seen the guy live? You see his house in Florida? Did you see his house in New York? And he sat there and he berated Taylor Renz about self-righteousness, about, well, you don't have to buy United Healthcare. Really? How many healthcare companies are there in the world, Sean? Do you know? You're very limited to what some people are stuck with United Healthcare. And he starts talking about he's a human being, he's a human being, he's a human being. Chris Thompson was a lousy human being. And there's been a lot of, guess what, Sean Hannity? Drug dealers, cartel owners have fathers, they're husbands, and they have children too. The double standard, how everybody looks at quote unquote white collar stuff versus blue collar stuff. I am not condoning the murder of Chris Thompson by Luigi Mangione. But what has happened as a result of that, I love. Bill Maher, AOC, he mocked his own audience about AOC being the front runner because Bill Maher is saying exactly what I'm saying. She's doomed to lose. Bushy eyebrows will be allowed in Brian Korfberger's case. Do you believe that they were actually trying to get to have eyewitness testimony that the guy had bushy eyebrows, not allowed in evidence? It's insane. The RFK files, not the JFK files, but the RFK files have been released, 10,000 pages of them. We'll see what they're released. And by the way, I want you to know, and I've noticed, what's up with the Epstein files? Bizarre. SpaceX is apparently the front runners. Seems like they'd be the best suited to do the Golden Dome for good old Donald Trump over the United States. I love the idea, and I like the idea of Elon Musk doing it. Vince Vaughn steps by the White House. I love Vince Vaughn, and some of his fans say shameful. It's really amazing. By the way, if Barack Obama, Joe Biden showed up in my office, I'd get a picture taken with him. I would. Capital One going to buy Discover for $35 billion. Tells you how good they're doing. Congressional Dems are at 25% confidence. A Gallup poll, they hit an historic low. Karl Rove's such a jackwagon. He's a jackwagon of the day. He goes, Americans are already exhausted by Trump. Such bullshit. You know what's his problem is? He's out. He was a Bushy. Trump's blocked him out last administration. He's out this administration. He hates having no power. IRS workers only worked 1 day a week until Trump's gotten back. 1 day a week in the office. New York Times, the person responsible for the defamation, cried on the stand and apologized to her. Sarah Palin says, too little, too late. Donald Trump raised a record $240 million for his inaugural. Now, I got to ask you a question. I'm just asking, Sabrina. $240 million. All right, he had Carrie Underwood. And he had Kid Rock. He had some people perform. Where the hell do you spend $240 million on an inaugural? Crazy, if you ask me. All right, in world news, the big news is Pope Francis died. May he rest in peace. But I don't know if he will or not. This was a communist. Pope Francis was a communist. Pope Francis was not beloved by the normal, basic Catholics. That's all I want to say. I'd cover this more fully in my Facebook Live. I'm sorry. He wasn't a good pope. J.D. Vance visited the Pope the day before he died. Pretty wild. J.D. Vance is now headed to India. Go, J.D., go. And Mike Huckabee was at Israel, and he went to the wall for Donald Trump and put a message in there. Pop culture. Elizabeth Hurley and Billy Ray Cyrus released this. Wow. You lucky dog, Billy Ray. Billy Ray's you see Elizabeth Hurley, she's as old as I am, and she looks like she's 20. All right. Apparently the CIA says Hitler did make it to Argentina, and they're hoping Argentina releases files to support it more. And let me tell you something that's weird about it. The skull that they thought was Hitler when they burnt the bodies, that skull was not Hitler's. This is a wild story. All right, in Sports Without Boundaries, we got playoffs. NHL, Wild 1, Golden Knights 3. Devils 1, Hurricanes 4. Senators 2, Maple Leafs 6. In NBA, Thunder 131, Grizzlies 80. Celtics 103, Magic 86. Heat 100, Cavs 121. Warriors 95, Rockets 85. And apparently, Wilt drank a bottle or a can of 7-Up every break for dehydration. And the Boston Marathon's tomorrow. So look, my good friend Sylvie Darian's going to be running the Boston Marathon. I hope she does well. And in history, we got some history. Today in history, everybody talks about the Alamo, right? Well, that's big. But the battle at San Jacinto, where Sam Houston and his troops surprised Santa Anita and captured him. He had a dress on. He was trying to escape in a dress. This was the deciding battle that made Texas the republic it is today. Shakespeare insult of the day: do not be a spongy, dilatory prig. Just don't be. Remember, check out my local news program as well.